This is immediate repetition.
My name is Ed
Perkin, and I'm going to discuss the game of blackjack,
which is
a consumer game played all around the world. It's also known as Pontoon in 21. It's Las Vegas' second biggest game after craps. It's also played in Atlantic City and more popular places in the States when it's played. It's also played throughout the Caribbean and the Asian Pacific, as well as in Europe. So it's a very popular game, and it has become more popular recently with the advent of card counting, which is something I'm familiar with. My friends and I go to Las Vegas a couple times where we attempt to beat the casinos by having cards. The game, well, card counting in particular, probably 30 or 40 years ago, it started with a group of scientists in the military who were playing blackjack in their spare time and for fun. And at the time, they realized that there was a definite strategy implemented for the playing situation, and they worked on it, and they didn't really have computers because this was going back to the 50s or so, and they didn't have any other pen and paper and trial and error to help them out. So they would play thousands and thousands of scenarios, taking into account every mathematical situation. They were able to develop what is known today as basic strategy. The basic strategy is simply the correct way to play a different hand in blackjack. A little background on blackjack, also known as 21, because the topic of the game is to get a card total of 21. You start with 2 cards, and then the cards are valued at their face cards. Face cards, which are 10, and A's, which is valued or about 1 or 11 at the player's discretion. And so for A's would equal 21, and that would be a winning hand. Otherwise, if you have a 10 and a 6, that would be 16, because the player's option to take another card, or to take what he or she has. He or she must hit anything below 16 or below and stand at 17 or above, because the player has to go first in the substantial business. So in order to account for this substantial, the couples will give in a couple advantages. One is paid to 200 to 300 on national blackjack, and then there's double town. He may double his bet and take exactly 1 more card, or he may split into 2 cards. The idea of card counting basically is that blackjack is the only game where the odds are constantly games like craps and leads and slot machines. Those are all set. You can play it. You may win in the short run, but the casino has an advantage into what they will win. The blackjack, however, is completely up to the player how good they are. If a player punts directly, they can cut the casino's edge by simply playing simple strategy. However, a pool player might be 10, and of course, this means their bank account. So it really comes good to how good the player is. It doesn't matter how good you are, you're never going to get an advantage when you don't get down to the 0.1%. But that's still, a casino still has an advantage over you. So the only way to really get an advantage over the casino is to come from card counting. What card counting is the way of identifying the solutions when the player has a solution over the casino. The way this is done is that simple card counting methods. When a higher proportion of 10s is left to play, This favors the player. When a lower percenter of tens is left, this favors the dealer. So you vary your bets according to how advantageous they are. If there are a lot of tens left, you bet more. If there are a few tens, you take a break and leave the casino. Basically, the most simple count system is what called point count, where cards are valued. Now this is separate from the game. The game has the card values. Now the card counting values. Using the high up one system, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s are valued +1, while all 10s, jacks, queens, and kings are valued -1. As you see each card fall and play from the deck, you add subtract from the count. So if you fall 5, 9, 6, that'd be +1 and +1, +2, and if you saw a king, that'd be -1, so you'd be back at +1. The jack, you'd be at -1, and so on. The higher you're positive, the better the situation, because the tens favors it. So for example, if you've played tens and the count's a strong situation, higher amount than you know you would. There are three advantages to the card, which I've already discussed, and it tells you when the count favors, and you can bet more or less. Also, it tells you when you take insurance. Insurance is simply a bet that the dealer will have a 10 and you will have an ace. It's false label insurance. The casinos will trick you into taking it. Most dealers tell you to take insurance on blackjack, because you have a 10 in your hand. It's actually less of a situation than if you had a 5 or a 6 when more 10s were remaining, but that'd be less. Basically, the higher the count, the better the insurance bets. So if you had what you have in your hand and you had a hand count, you should take insurance, should have +2, and the more you can take it. And the third thing that card game will do for you is that it will vary your playing strategy away from the basic strategy, which you've already learned by implement. Any book will have the basic strategy. They will tell you the basic strategy, the odds down to less than 1% against you. So if they're willing to tell you how to beat them, you might spend a couple dollars to spend one of the books. Allow you to vary from the basic strategy by implementing the count. For example, when you have a 16 and a 10, basic strategy tells you that, hey, you should get 16, the dealer's 10. However, the marginal advantage, which is sustaining, if the count is high, then you actually want to. An advanced player can actually count to win a whole bunch against the casino, which I hope that I know all of you know will do.